protected. Let me tell you now very quickly also, lighting. We've developed lighting, right? And now what we were able to do, we're able to stay up after dark, right? And there's a professor called Professor Sachin Pandor of the Salk Institute in California. They're the ones who discovered the polio vaccine. He's basically done an amazing amount of research on what's called the circadian rhythm, the body's natural cycles. We have a natural sleep-wake cycle, but every system and function in the body has a rhythm. And one of the systems in the body that has a rhythm, he says on a podcast that I listened to recently on the internet, is a digestive system. It has a natural rhythm. Now, what he saw, he did an experiment. He fed mice a high-fat, high-fructose sucrose diet, yeah? And within 9 to 10 weeks, all the mice developed cardiovascular disease, fatty liver disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, etc., etc., etc. All the modern diseases, right? Within 9 to 10 weeks, right? They were able to have food whenever and however they wanted, right? Now, what he did was that he fed another set of mice, right? The same diet, exactly the same diet, the same amount of calories, but what he did was he time restricted the diet to 10 hours a day, to 8 hours a day, I think, 8 to 10 hours a day, 8 it was, right? And these mice were completely protected from developing any of these diseases. And he was saying that just 100 years ago to 200 years ago, it would cost a family 1 month's salary to heat up their home or to light up their home for 3 to 4 hours at night. So it was not possible back then. But now with the introduction of cheap electricity, what we're doing now is we're able to eat in 16-hour cycles or 17-hour cycles or 18 or 19. Some of us even get up. And what that's doing, and he was even to consistently, repeatedly reverse all these modern diseases by a time-restricted diet to 8 hours. And these mice lost 20% of their body fat. And in fact, the mice that were on an unhealthy diet, but were on a time-restricted diet, they performed athletically much better than those mice which were on a healthy diet but were not on a time-restricted diet. Yeah, 16 hours. So just an example, right? So lighting, also transport. I think transport has been a disaster, right? Because what it's done is centralize everything. Everybody's going to these huge malls. Before, people were in communities, etc., etc. So anyway, my last point, there was a lot more to cover. I wanted to cover a very, very important topic, which was epistemology, which is what are our sources. But inshallah, maybe for another day. And we were going to talk about dreams, we were going to talk about ilham and kashf and visions and all of that kind of stuff. But unfortunately we can't because, some of them are having dreams, visions.
Okay, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
Inshallah, we'll break for Salatul Asr now. And we'll have some refreshments, and when we come back, we'll have Rosini who will be doing some work on the project session. Those of you who will be presenting, if you can let me know, inshallah, or let Brother Wazir know, so that you can say something on your project. Even if you only conceptualize a project, please let Brother Wazir know, and then he can take note of that.